Kolade Otitoju, and Olayinka Oyegbile. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. It's the season of election campaign in Nigeria, and politicking, lobbying, and alignments are on display. In a show of solidarity, 5 governors on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, now known as G5, stormed Makurdi, the Benue state capital, for inauguration of some projects executed by one of them, Governor Samuel Otom. The governors, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Nyesom Wike of Rivers, Okeze Bazu of Abia, and Ifeanyi Agoyin of Enugu State inaugurated many road projects completed by Governor Otom in the state. TVC News' Maiwa Okwato has the story.
Arriving Makurdi, the capital of Benue State, for flag-off of the 2023 election campaigns are the G5 governors. Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, Ikpeazu Okeze of Abia, Nyesom Wike of Rivers, and Ifeanyi Agoyin of Enugu State, accompanying Governor Otom to commission projects within the state capital. Among projects commissioned are the Itsepo to Mbakia Road, Yakio to Isepo Road, NKST Yena to Georgiakume Road, low-cost housing estates to Bambam Road, among others. The later proceeds to the flag-off venue. The party's acting state chairman acknowledges the presence of all dignitaries as the director of the state campaign management committee shed more light on the reason for the flag-off.
As I declare the flag-off of this campaign open, we have to signify this by presenting flags that will keep flying, flags that will make us win elections.
No time is wasted as the flag-off and presentation of flags to the state governorship candidates commence. Representatives of the state's zones, youths, women, and the National Assembly reaffirm their loyalty to the party.
I believe that PDP is the party that the Benue people are waiting for. Am I lying? I saw, Your Excellency,
that in the process, despite of the seeming differences that we have, we will not do anything that will undermine the authority and the leadership of the governor.
The state governor, Samuel Otom, with his guests, give Benue people the assurance that the party remains strong in Benue.
that's the time that we have spent here. That Idi Amin will say, at the appropriate time, I will also. All of us, we have left everything we are doing in our state to come and give you support, to tell you anything Otom tells you to do. Do it. It will be for the interest of Benue State. Not be so. Not be so. Some people said here that there's a problem. Me, I don't know problem.
With this flag-off, it is evident that the state People's Democratic Party is ready to compete for the governorship seat come 2023. Maiwa Okwato, TVC News, Makurdi.
So to be safe to say this Nyesom Wike faction, they are running solo. They are on their own. Because this is not the presidential campaign of Atiku Abubakar. I didn't see any stigma. And it's just to flag off the governorship campaign in Benue State. Yes. But these guys, they are moving in a different direction.
They are doing everything together. They remain resolute. They are not agreeing to make peace as far as ASUU remains the national chairman of the party. And they are staying very strong. They are staying very strong. They said it should go. As long as it remains, they are not prepared to make peace with the national leadership. But they are doing their thing. They've not left the party. They will remain in the party. They will do their best to make sure that their party wins in their states.
What kind of model is that?
Well, we've seen Baba Olusola Saraki. At least Baba Olusola Saraki. I saw him do it in 1983. My mom was telling me, you will see this, that is what he will do. And exactly that was what he did. So even me too, as a young man coming of age, we were discussing with my boss, Bayo Nonuga. I told my boss, Bayo Nonuga, I said, that was in 1999, I said he will tell them to vote PDP because they had the APP primaries. He was not happy with the outcome. I said, watch, he's going to tell his people to vote for PDP. My boss said, no, I'm sure he will not do that. I said, he will do that. I know this man, he will do that. He thought I was joking. That was what Baba Olusola Saraki did. So it's not a new thing for people to be in a party and work against their party in some particular elections. What Saraki will just tell them, just Saturday, umbrella in Eka, Efisapa. That means he's telling them, vote a different party. And their own was even different. The national leadership, led by Shagari, came to Ilorin. Schools were closed on that day. They came to Ilorin, and to show that, yes, they are in solidarity, they shut schools so that the stadium complex in Kwara State will be filled to capacity with people. And they were happy. He was smiling. Everybody was smiling, and they said, the matter, they've resolved this matter. My mom said they did not resolve anything. They did not resolve anything. So we were waiting. By the time election came, about 2 days later, Saraki had told them to do something else. Whereas we saw him the other day rejoicing, dancing with those people, assuming that the quarrel had ended. In fact, Shagari was so happy. To the crisis. What Saraki didn't want was for Adamu Atta to return as governor.
And he backed
C.O. Adebayo. So Adebayo was of a different party. In fact, they went as far as even during the primaries of the UPN. Olawuyi and C.O. Adebayo were competing against one another. The first one was cancelled because of violence, suspected to have even been initiated from without. At the end of the day, what did we see? C.O. Adebayo prevailed in the primaries of the UPN, and then Saraki got his people to support him to ensure that Adamu Atta did not return as governor of his own party. So whatever Wike and others are doing today, it's not new. Because Olusola Saraki did it in 1983, he did it in 1999, and we are in, history always finds a way to repeat itself.
A house divided against itself will definitely not stand. You have 5 governors going in another direction, and Atiku Abubakar, even as formidable as the People's Democratic Party in 2019, they still did not defeat the All Progressive Congress. When they had all the support. Now a divided house.
It will be interesting to see how the presidential campaign or presidential campaigns in these 5 states will be launched or will be done. Because if you have
already they've set up the presidential campaign outside these guys. Someone complained that they said the Rivers people, some of them were chosen without his consent
and all that. Well, there's no problem with that because the PDP are thought that, well, since you are not with us, why do we need to reckon with you? But the question now is, how are they going to campaign in those states? Or is it that the PDP will not hold any campaign there?
Definitely.
The campaign in those states is going to be very, very tough. Because if you have a state controlled by an opposition party and you don't have their support, no problem. But in a state your party is controlling, you don't have the support of your governors, how do you intend to campaign there? But let no one make any mistake. these governors have their hand in their party, in the states, at the state level. They support their candidate and everything, they are supporting them. However, it is at the national level that the problem arises. How is PDP going to campaign in these 5 states? That is the question they need to think about. And as Citizen Jones always say, when your enemy is making a mistake, don't correct him. That is what is happening now. Then the other parties or the APC will be very happy about what is going on now, because it will work in their own favor.
Yes.
Let's talk about this commissioner, the roads that were commissioned.
Yes.
Across Benue State.
You see, I think Governor Tom used one stone to kill 2 birds. They've always told us that I did not do any work. They've always said that Tom, that when he wants to do empowerment, he distributes wheelbarrow and all that the only thing he does is to just talk about Fulanis. He does not do any work and all that. You know, when I hear people say a governor did not do any work, there's no governor who has not worked. It's a lie from the pit of hell to say a governor has not worked. Most of the people saying that, they've not even been to those states. Most of the people saying that they are propelled by hate and anger and the fact that they are not in the same party.
Yes.
I was in Zamfara the other day. Do you know that after my interview with the governor, people were calling me to say, you mean this governor had done this much? The fact that there's not much publicity about a governor does not mean it's not working.
Yeah.
They were shocked at some of the things that the man had done. So Otom now has used this opportunity to show that, okay, you said I've not done anything. These are projects in the state capital and environs.
Yeah.
And there are some that he had done even outside
beyond
the state capital. Place. But in our case, if we don't see some projects in state capital, we say no work has been done. But now he's showing them, including electricity projects. So this is what I've done. You can't come now and tell us that he has not worked. You see, today people talk about the governor of Rivers State, that he has done so much work. About 2-3 years ago, nobody was saying it. But he chose the last 2 years of his administration to begin to show the world that this is what I've done. And now everybody is talking about it. He even won a presidential award. So this is the thing. Some governors who sit there who don't want to spend money on the media to show the media that they are working because they think TV time is so much money. People will not talk about them. There is a governor in the far north. His state is very far, close to the border with the Niger Republic. Even his own friends are begging him, let the media see what you have done. You've done so much work. But he's stingy to himself. To even show the work that he has done is difficult for him. You know, this is a governor that I know very well. I'm close to his elder brother. We've talked to him. Show the people what you've done. It's difficult for him to even show the people what he's done. How can you be stingy to yourself? At the end of the day, the immortality that you are supposed to give yourself, you will not give yourself because you have not prioritized publicity. Wike has shown us that there is a lot of value in prioritizing popularity, showing the world that he has done so much work. If it is investigated, probably some governors have even done more than Wike. But they're choosing not to make noise. So, and that is their problem.
All right, moving on. The rising demand for the dollar in Nigeria is piling more pressure on the Naira. Hence, its value continues to decline. The Naira has dropped to a new low of 885 Naira per dollar at the parallel section of the foreign exchange markets, popularly called black markets. The figure represents a depreciation of 17 Naira or 8.6% from the 815 Naira it traded last week. Some Bureau de change operators put the buying price of the dollar at 860 Naira and selling price at 885 Naira, leaving a 25 Naira profit margin. The decline of the Naira against the dollar worsened after the Central Bank of Nigeria announced a plan to redesign the currency. Olanka.
Well, you see, a lot of people have come out to blame the central bank for announcing that. I also did the same, but taking a reflective look, you ask yourself, so what should have been the solution? Is it that we allow this to continue, or we do the change, or is it the time frame that has been given that is too short? In my own opinion, I think the central bank, with what it has done, has perhaps sat down. Maybe the level of consultation that needed to be done had not been properly done. And when you want to do this kind of thing, it is not a thing that you throw open to debate. It's usually in the inner recesses of the central bank and the president, just as we have seen. Even the minister was unaware of it. But whatever decision is taken, this is Nigeria, it will always backfire. The only way is, will it have been that the central bank will have introduced the new Naira notes and then not announce it and then be withdrawing the old one bit by bit? So you begin to ask yourself, what exactly should have been done? Because I'm not an economist, as I always say, but the little economics that I know is that whenever things, if we cast our mind back to 1984, 83, 84, the same thing happened. Now, there is no way. The other day on social media, there was the news that surfaced that some Naira notes with Oceanic Bank wrapper surfaced. 11 years ago, Oceanic Bank went under. So you ask yourself, now, what exactly will you do to make Nigerians realize that we must keep money in the bank? Even dollar that is not Nigeria. You know, during the election, there was a time, there was a clip that was shown a room filled with dollars. And then you ask yourself, is there a printing farm in Africa that prints dollar for the US? Or how do they get all those things? Honestly, as former President Babangida once said, that the Nigerian economy defies all logic and solution. That you know, at the time he was confused. He said he doesn't even know why the Nigerian economy has not collapsed. That was what led to the closure of African Concord then, if you remember. Now, what exactly do we think should have been done that has not been done? The Nigerian economy, I mean, the way people keep money at home, all the measures have been taken, cashless economy, do this, do that, yet people still continue to keep money out of circulation. Why? Are we normal people?
Olayika's point is money out of the banking sector. But what do you think is directly responsible for this sharp decline on a daily basis of the Naira?
A lot of speculation is going on. Ours is a rentier economy, and the policies have not helped. We have advised them to maintain a single currency window. They won't listen. The reason they are keeping this dual exchange window, they are the only ones who can explain. And if you must keep the dual exchange window, why should the gap between the official market and the unofficial market be so wide? No, you just ask yourself, in any piece of business where people can reap bountiful harvests, where the profit margin is extremely huge, you will kill to stop people from doing it. You will kill. There was a time when IBB said nobody should eat imported rice. They should not bring imported rice into Nigeria again. In the 80s. Bolade in those days, if they catch you with imported rice, you are in trouble.
You are in trouble.
It was a big trouble at that time. Even at gunpoint, they were arresting people. Did this stop Nigerians from smuggling imported rice? It didn't stop. Now, in this case, we read about the EFCC arresting BDC operators and all that. The Yoruba people will say that you are not going to the source of the problem. Where do the BDCs get their dollars? CBN every week will share dollars to banks.
You go to bank, you own them.
Some weeks, I remember when they were sharing as much as 120 million to the banks. The banks will pass a good chunk of it to the BDCs.
Yeah.
Those ones will go and sell. Look at the difference. It was, I think,
Very alarming rate.
445 to Naira 50. So was the official rate on Friday. 445 to 445.50 to the dollar.
Yeah.
Now the unofficial rate that same Friday was around 815.
Look
at the difference.
That they will even call a malam.
Look at the difference. So you that you have that, you got it at the official rate at 445.50. Who can stop you from taking it to a place where you will make twice? This is what is happening. Banks, people go to banks, they will be advising them from the banking hall where you are supposed to get this dollar.
They will even call
they will tell you that
the vendor for
that this is our malam. Go and meet our malam. So you see banks that go to the kind of profit that banks will be coming up with, because without doing any work, you simply give them a huge chunk of dollars that they can choose.
Depending on the amount you want to change.
Now you have people going to school abroad. It is like a camel passing through the eye of the needle for them to get dollars, even through official channels. Some of the people say so much nonsense on social media. I say, why don't you go into the bank? How many of them have attempted to go into the bank to see whether they can get the money? In any case, some of them are so.
Which bank?
Let me not abuse people here, because these people are annoying. Some of the things that they say. There are problems. People are talking about the problems so that our leaders can address the problems. But you are already a patented cycle. Why don't they go to the bank? People go to the bank. Of course, if I know that I will get it, the bank
will even tell you to go and buy and bring. That is what they do now. The bank will tell you to go and buy and bring.
So they know it's not going to people. You go to the black market, they tell you, no, there's no this thing. So what do you expect people to do? This thing will keep going up. At the time when this announcement was made, it was 785 to the dollar. Now it is 885. That's already within a matter of days. It's gone up by more than 100.
Do we have guarantee that before that December 15, that date?
No, the closer it is to that day, the worse things will become.
Exactly, that is it.
Except drastic measures are taken, and I don't know what drastic measures. We've seen the CBN governor. We've seen the CBN governor take steps in the past that achieve absolutely no dividend. The other day when he said he was stopping sale of forex to BDCs, we all thought that yes, this is a good move. It will come through the banks now. What did we achieve? It got worse even after that. People should go and check how much was the exchange rate before he took that decision to stop sale of forex to BDCs, and how much it is now. The other day he was fighting a Nigerian that he accused of speculating or being a speculator, Aboki FS. Shortly after that, we saw the thing go up. You are unable to put a firm hand on this thing to stop the slide, but you are coming up with measures that are not working. I mean, this is just the frustration.
Part of the problem also.
All right, we have to pay these bills. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more.
That is a photograph of the second Niger Bridge, taken about 2 weeks ago at night. So the bridge itself is finished. For those who are concerned about that, finished. What remains is the link road. There's a 4-kilometer link road on the Asaba side. Right now, our dredger is in place. We have to build the road by reclaiming sand. So flood has slowed us down there at the moment. So we're waiting for the water to recede. On the Onitsha side, there's a 7-kilometer road that links this bridge and the Onitsha-Owerri interchange. The last time I visited, we had covered about 5 kilometers out of the 7 asphalted. So we're still racing against time. We've lost some time now due to nature, but we keep going. But in terms of the bridge, the crossing completed. And those who've been there know that you can walk the length of the bridge on both sides now unimpeded.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, I need a room to rent in your house.
Okay, where do you work?
I'm a nurse.
That means you won't owe me rent. Congratulations, young lady. You have yourself a house.
Well, thank you so much, sir. So, how much is the rent?
90,000 naira. Oh, but wait, where are you from?
I am from Akamata.
Akamata what? Akamata in my house? If you know how you got into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
Your people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extend to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart, with one voice, we will make Nigeria a hub of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
Thank you for staying with us. We are still looking at the Naira and Judy. At the end of the day, if we are not able to do something about it, we are not in a situation, we are not in a country where we can have people honorably throwing the towel that have failed. In UK, the Prime Minister saw the economy in 35, 45 days and discovered that, look, there's nothing I can do about this thing. And the woman, honorably, she resigned. We don't have such culture.
Even what offense did his predecessor commit? People will say, okay, they caught you, you were partying during COVID. That's enough to cause a president.
I mean,
you went during COVID, you were with some people in a party. The president will resign. Here, it's not the culture. In fact, those ones will be seeking bigger responsibilities. Before our eyes. People who have failed, they will still be seeking bigger responsibilities in our country because we think we are a country of cheap people. People without a sound retentive memory. I mean, it's just wrong.
All right. The concept of ceasefire during battles predisposes that the warring factions put hostilities on hold to give room for negotiation or resolution. It seems that idea was bricked in the feud between members of the Academic Staff Union of University, ASUU, and the federal government. A new rift is brewing following payment of half salary to the university lecturers for October by government. But on the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, who brokered the deal that brought an end to the strike, has urged ASUU to remain calm. Gbajabiamila noted that efforts to find lasting solutions to the concerns raised by ASUU are ongoing, expressing confidence that President Muhammadu Buhari will wade into the matter. Jide, quickly, what is this about?
Well, it seems that some people in the corridors of power, especially the hawks, there is no government where I don't find hawks. Those hawks will be telling the president, do this, nothing will happen. Do this, nothing will happen. A kind of majo lomo. But at the end of the day, you nudge the leadership to take decisions that will hurt not just the government, but even the ruling party. This is the kind of situation that we are facing. There are some of them in the administration who are even angry that Gbajabiamila intervened in the first place. They don't want peace. Their whole makeup is to constantly cause trouble and treat everybody with levity, that people don't matter. But you can't treat the people like that. Gbajabiamila intervened. There are many people who are not happy with that intervention. Some of them for political reasons. Yeah. But this is an election year in the real sense of the word, because we are just a few months to election. And every action that you make have repercussions,
yes,
have consequences.
Yes.
You know? I think that, because I read the statement that ASUU issued, I think they realized that, look, since Gbajabiamila intervened, and we can see that some steps are being taken to address some of the biggest issues that led to the strike, like the IPPIS thing, the accommodation of UTAS in IPPIS is being done, like even the injection of 170 billion to facilitate an increase in the salaries of university lecturers is being inserted into the budget, thanks to Gbajabiamila. Then the 300 billion revitalization fund, that also inserted in the budget. I think the leadership of ASUU, on account of that, reading their statement, you see that they are not prepared. They are prepared to wait, see what will happen, because that is my takeaway from Gbajabiamila's statement issued yesterday, that look, let's be patient. The president would wade in. We must not get to the point when lecturers go on strike again. And he was appealing to both camps. In fact, the statement, he was saying there is no more pressing objective than to preclude the possibility of further disruptions to the academic calendar of the universities. We must prevent this possibility by all means, as these disruptions risk the promise and potential of our nation's youth. He then said, I urge all parties to be patient and grant each other the presumption of goodwill to the extent necessary to achieve our shared objective. This is not a time for political brinksmanship. If it was on the global scale that Gbajabiamila is making this kind of interventions, it will be recommended for the Nobel Peace Prize. Because we've seen people who stepped in periods of adversity to stop crisis, to stop war. They became Nobel Peace Prize winners. We can see how he intervened over the resident doctors' affair. Inserted that training fund into the budget, and those guys refused. They decided to go back to work. Something that somebody who was a medical doctor, as minister, could not stop them from doing. It ought to be an advantage, but it wasn't an advantage after all. When you are making progress and people are happy with what you are doing, some people will get up and be doing their best to frustrate you, to put you down. That is what is going on now. So that it doesn't look like Gbajabiamila gets praise in the final analysis. You see some people, they will be misadvising the president. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I'm happy for one thing. The finance minister has come out, reeled out what was inserted in the budget in respect of ASUU. Yeah. So that's progress made. And that's why some of us will advise ASUU that on this matter, just be calm. Don't think of going on any strike, because this is a dark cloud that will be dispelled in the final analysis. I'm very confident about that. And this is my advice to them. Don't go on any strike. Don't do
In addition
it.
to that, the ASUU now, I believe also, they have done their own tactics and are studying the situation that, look, we are already having support of majority of Nigerians. It is not good that we will go on strike again. Let us continue to go with them and see what the government will do. What will the president do after all this has been done? Because in their statement today, I have some empathy with them. I mean, you cannot, quoting them, say, you cannot treat us as casual workers. To say that we are not going to be paid, we are going to, I mean, what exactly do we take?
To be paid half salary.
I mean, it is unheard of.
Not even under a military.
Is it now that, are we now saying that, okay, where the work stopped, this 2021 session was what they stopped. So are we jumping to 2022 session now? 22,
or
23
even National
session?
Assembly members of the,
are you promoting
all these politicians?
I mean, are you promoting those who...
Can they afford to pay them half salary?
I mean,
so the number of days you go for sitting.
Exactly. How many times do people sit?
They must complete that session.
How many times
you know this? They don't reason up to people hawks who are just the after is just do the and all that. They are not reasoning up to that level. The university environment is not simply where you teach people.
Exactly. The project,
a center of excellence,
and everything they are supervising.
It's a center of research.
Pass it on like that?
Research is not simply done where you put students in the class.
It is not.
I mean, what's going on? Research is not simply done with students just listening to you and receiving instruction. So you are saying where the work stopped, they must continue and complete that one. So now you want them to complete it, but you will not pay them.
You will not pay them.
What sort of logic is that? Why didn't you do that to resident doctors? Before our eyes, resident doctors went on strike. You paid them for the period they were on strike.
Why do
you want to start it now?
Now it's now that you realize that it's a law.
Even when civil servants go on strike, don't they pay them?
They pay them. Is it today that NLC has been calling people out on strike?
You see the reason why the academic is being rubbished in Nigeria?
No, it's selective. When you are saying that the law, so it's just now that we are going to begin to apply the law.
Is it now they realizing the law?
You are talking about pro rata. What was it? Pro rata to pay people daily for work? Who does that? I said even under a military regime. Nobody did this.
Exactly.
And this is why this one is wrong.
No.
But we know that there are people within the government trying to mislead the president, and at the end of the day, do their best to sabotage their own party. Before our eyes, before our eyes, we saw what happened in Edo State.
Yes.
Despite all those deniers, we know that it was APC governors that worked against their own party for their party to lose.
Yes.
In Edo State.
Edo State, yes.
Even if they deny
history,
at least their conscience is there.
They know.
They can't deny what is evident, what God himself saw. Their conscience will continue to prick them that they worked against their own party. It was very frustrating for Governor Ganduje. He said, so this is what my colleagues will do to me. And I stayed here for 2 weeks working to make sure we won this election. He was betrayed by his colleagues. I'm saying it on air. But if you ask them individually, they will say, no, it didn't happen.
No,
it's the will of the people and all that. But what they did against the party, people will still remember. And I'm saying now that even this ASUU thing, the way some hawks are going about it, they are trying to sabotage their own party, demarket their own party.
That's the most surprising thing for me.
It's very absurd.
We are getting to the end of it. Your party will claim credit for it, and then you go behind again and begin to scatter
President Buhari, let me add this. President Buhari, when we interviewed him in 1993, we said, why did you go to ASUU's house to ransack his library? Buhari said he did not know. He never sent anybody to ASUU's house. Today, the president must realize that history always finds a way to repeat itself. If fifth columnist in his administration at that time went to Awo's house so that Buhari will become unpopular. And Nigerians will say, okay, even if they remove him from office, no big deal. He must realize that within his government, there are some people who are still behaving like that.
Behaving that way again.
All right, we watch with dismay how the power to choose political leaders is being shifted to the courts. The electoral umpire is also worried. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has raised an alarm that cases filed by litigation, happy individuals and parties are eating into vital time required for preparation and procurement of sensitive materials for the 2023 election. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said the commission has been joined in about 600 cases relating to the conduct of recent primaries and nomination of candidates by political parties for the 2023 election. Nika, this is, you know, I remember this is not new. In 2007, EFCC, before 2007 election, EFCC had this eligibility list.
Yeah.
That, yes, if you are under trial, this.
You can't do
Atiku Abubakar went to court.
Yeah.
And Atiku Abubakar battled the court.
And it was overturned.
Few weeks to the election, before the court upheld, the Supreme Court cleared him to actually contest in 2007. Now, what INEC is saying now this back and forth, people that had problem with their primaries, internal democracy and everything, litigation everywhere across all political parties. So INEC is saying that this distraction would disturb us from planning.
Yes, very, very true. When did the time for nomination and filing of names close? Today, a court nullified the PDP primary in Zamfara.
Yes, all across the board.
Now, the question now is, when are we...
And that's a lower court.
Exactly.
And the person will have to write to appeal, and they could appeal to the Supreme Court and look at the time frame.
When do we need, how do we put a law that at a particular time there will be no more court cases? If you put that law now, we might say it's undemocratic. If you don't put it, it jeopardizes the democratic process. So what exactly do we need?
No, maybe the amendment of the Electoral Act, because if you go to the tribunal now, in the tribunal, whether you like it or not, 180 days. If you don't finish whatever you are doing, it will be started back.
So now it is a confused situation that we are dealing with. INEC has come out at the appropriate time. 600 cases. When are the court going to finish with all these 600 cases?
The legal department of INEC.
When the judgment is given, if it is not the final judgment at the Supreme Court or the Appellate Court or whatever, you start all over again. And one will be governor 2 weeks, another one will come. I mean, it is a recipe for chaos. Something has to be done. The Electoral Act has to be looked at again to see what can be done about it. Or our politicians must also have that spirit of sportsmanship. I mean, it is not a do 4 years is just around the corner.
Every election here, and I thought this timetable will enable INEC, because look at the time of submission of nomination and everything to election time. They had ample time after their primaries.
Well, it's getting worse every year. With every election year, it's getting worse. This is what I see. And you talked about what happened to Atiku when Obasanjo was desperate to stop him from running, and he had to be rescued less than 4 days to the election without Supreme Court judgments, and the Supreme Court said he must be on the ballot.
Look at the provision that would have turned INEC into that time.
Individual. That kind of situation is probably easier to manage than a situation in which 600 cases. All the presidential candidates, as we have now, have cases against them. All. They have cases against them. You even see some political parties, they have their presidential candidate, they are saying they are suspended the presidential candidate.
Yes, sir.
I mean, what kind of, what level?
Tell you that, so.
So, I saw the judgment against Dauda Lawal today, and I'm saying, look, politicians are now using the courts as a terror weapon.
Yeah.
They are using the courts as a terror weapon to deal with their opponents, ambush their opponents, bring up these matters at the last minute to ensure that that opponent cannot contest. I remember a particular candidate, a central candidate, telling me that on a Friday, election will come up the next day to stop his rival from getting away with a last-minute injunction on a Friday, less than 24 hours to the election. He had to take a private jet to go to the state to block the effort to stop him at the last minute. That's what I'm saying. Politicians are using the courts now as a terror weapon against one another. If the court says, okay, because INEC will always obey the final judgment. If a lower court says you cannot, this person cannot contest, until that order is vacated, INEC will obey. They are law-abiding, they will obey. But the irresponsible conduct of some of our politicians is putting INEC in a fix. Because how are you going to design ballot papers at the last minute?
Yes, that's what INEC is referring to.
Some of the printing is not even done in Nigeria. So how do they deal with that kind of situation? Because you can see, okay, look at how many of these primaries have already been set aside by courts. They are the ones using the courts against one another. Some of the cases are even frivolous. Okay, look at what the INEC chairman was referring to, a judgment. The Supreme Court had given a judgment. Somebody still went to court, and a judge tried to review a judgment already made by the Supreme Court.
Abuse of court process.
That kind of judge
should
even be put in a slammer. Don't just derobe him, put him in a slammer. Because there's a lot of forum shopping that is going on.
The lawyer that could leave the Supreme Court judgment to go and file another thing.
Where he is. Remember what politicians were trying to do in Ondo State.
Yes.
Up to the last minute, they will fight. They will say they don't want this judge. This judge is bad. We don't want this judge. Until Onoge stepped in and said no. All they wanted to do that time was stop Jegede from contesting. And we had less than 48 hours to the election. Jimo and Co were doing their best just to make sure that Jegede cannot run. Until Onoge stepped in and said enough.
Consolidated all.
Yes. And then a judgment was given. The man had less than 24 hours to prepare for election.
Yes, I remember.
Is this not terrorism? This is terrorism.
Adams. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Brother Ayo, God bless you, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Brother Jide, God bless you, and my other father there. Please, you see this, why can't they remodernize all these things? We shouldn't be following the old system of politicking and so on. It's time for us now to renew and remodernize everything that we do in this country. Like this matter of court, why should court hold cases for donkey before they will pass it? It should not be more than one week. They should trash it and do away with it, sir. God bless you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Adam.
You know, it's even when we are talking about the Electoral Act, they've created a long window for these issues to be trashed.
I'm telling you, look at now. The number of months that you used to campaign, the number of months
they've added to it so that we can deal with all these legal issues.
And the election is February. INEC tried their possible best.
So that they can have enough time to prepare.
To follow this. But people they are still
the politician will always be a politician. That's the thing.
In spite of that, look at them now. Look, and now we have more litigations than before.
600 cases. How do you...
You know what someone was even saying, suggesting to me that, okay, somebody who has sued at all APC elected positions, you know, including the national chair of the party, the presidential candidate, all of them, they sued them. They sued them that they are not because, according to them, Malabune shouldn't have signed.
Yeah.
And the Supreme Court has said that it's not the person who signs that matters, that even a clerk can sign for the party.
Yeah.
These people, they challenge all of them. Now, if you said all the National Assembly candidates, that means 109 APC contestants for senatorial seats, they can all be joined in the suit. More than 1,700 House of Assembly members, they can all be joined. They can apply to be joined.
Yes.
And then in the House of Reps too, all of the APC members, they can all apply to be joined in that suit. How will the judiciary deal with that kind of situation? That's what those of them who are bringing this kind of funny cases, that's what they don't think about this. They don't think deeply. The Supreme Court has already addressed
the matter.
And what's his name? Arakuni was able to escape. You are now taking us back. You can't say that the position, a party position, is an executive position. It's been argued. It's not an executive position, and it was not earning salary. But in spite of that, you are still bringing that up so late in the day now that they should stop all those APC people that contested, including even those who contested in the as ESCO members of APC. They should stop everybody.
Just confusion.
No, it's just confusion. And until people take this game or take it as a game, you lose, you win, and all that. I mean, and it's because of the finances that is attached to it. That is why it is a do or die.
Lawyers.
If not, if not, how many of them would like to be university teachers rather than be politicians?
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you.
You want them to be collecting half salary.
Collecting half salary.
Today is our brother,
yes.
Our boss, our brother.
Yes, so that's 65 today.
Oh,
that's 65 today. Journalist.
Wonderful.
I can't fail to talk about his contributions to making me who I am today. I remain immensely
wonderful guy.
Grateful for the courage that he deposited in me to fear no one in doing my job, and for even the writing skills that he improved.
Dapolari, a role model.
A role model
for journalists.
Yes.
That's
wonderful man.
Congratulations, bro.
Gentleman.
Congrats, brother.
Happy birthday,
and many happy returns.
Yeah.
Everybody daps.
Yeah. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us this Sunday for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzuba. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Black Friday is here, and ShopX TV is proud to bring you a very special offer. Yes, from now till November 30th, 2022, we are offering 50 lucky customers an opportunity to save massively on our best-selling collection, the Triple Deal. This amazing collection includes 1 Power Air Fryer XL, 1 NutriBullet, and 1 Copper Chef Wonder Cooker. The amazing Powerful Air Fryer XL is a one-touch revolutionary kitchen miracle with 7 quick presets that can air fry, roast, bake, and grill in minutes. With little or no oil and up to 80% less fat, it does the job of your grill, oven, and stove, all in one neat, compact, and versatile device. The secret is rapid hot air technology. This superheat heated cyclonic air flows around your food quickly, creating a golden brown crispy outside while locking the moisture inside. It's so simple to use and offers all-in-one alternative to 5 different cooking methods. Roast a whole chicken that is so juicy on the inside. Now you can say goodbye to oils and hello to healthier living. And with the NutriBullet, you can now easily get your daily recommended fruits and vegetables in a fast, simple, and convenient way. Not by eating them, but by drinking them. The secret is NutriBullet's 900-watt motor, combined with bullet-exclusive cyclonic action that forces everything into the NutriBullet extractor blades, breaking down and pulverizing the stems, seeds, and skins, releasing the essential nutrients trapped inside, taking ordinary foods and turning them into superfoods, giving you the strength and energy you need for a full, active lifestyle, whatever your age. And our best-selling Copper Chef Wonder Cooker. It's a non-stick roasting pan, Dutch oven, stock pot, air crisper. It's the world's first extra-large non-stick multi-cooker that has 14 functions, including baking, steaming, cooking, air frying, grilling, roasting, serving, and so much more. And that's not all. The Copper Chef Wonder Cooker comes with deep roasting pan, shallow roasting pan, crisper tray, a tempered glass pan lid, and 2 bonus deep fry baskets. Each of these items, that is the Power XL Fryer, the NutriBullet, and the Wonder Cooker, collectively cost 182,900 Naira. But if you order now, you get everything, yes, everything, for just 155,465 Naira, saving you 27,435 Naira. Incredible! And remember, if you order now, you'll get all your products delivered to you with no delivery charge. Yes, that's free shipping on all orders. But hurry, call now or visit our website at www.shopxtv.com to get your orders whilst stock lasts.
The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV. Hello and thanks for joining us. We'll begin with the latest development on the Academic Staff Union of Universities, as the union condemned the federal government's payment of half salaries to lecturers in October. In a statement by the union's president, Emmanuel Osodeke, he condemned the pro rata payment and accused the government of attempting to reduce Nigerian scholars to casual workers. He said the response of the government, especially its pro rata payment of October salaries of academics, portrayed them as daily paid workers. Meanwhile, the federal government has defended the pro rata payment to ASUU members in October, saying they cannot be paid for work not done. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, through the ministry spokesman, also dismissed media reports that the government was biased in paying the university teachers. Let's talk security matters. The United Kingdom